with.
Nah, no way. We wouldn't do something like that. Hello. What's good,
Lies.
everybody? It is Tuesday night, so you already know it. It's time to go down another rabbit hole, and we're going down a real rabbit hole tonight. The one, the only, taking it back to the original, the Matrix series. And of course, my two fellow travelers coming down that rabbit hole with me. We got the Trinity. Hey, what's up, girl? How you doing tonight?
I am doing all right. I am happy to be here. Let's get into this discussion. We got a lot to talk about.
Oh, we got a lot to do it, and the man who's going to be talking with us is, of course, the one, the only Agent Fandom. What's happening with you?
Where is Mr. Anderson?
Where is Mr. Anderson? I'm telling you what, where you at, Tom? I don't know. Which one is Tom? We got so many faces, so many theories, so many things to talk about. We're going to get right into it. This is called The Matrix Resurrections. And right out of the gate, I was liking the opening. It had a very Matrixy feel to it to me. Like the reflection in the water with those soldiers walking, kind of letting us know that like all is not what it seems, kind of a nod to a mirrored world being the illusion. Like, how'd you think of it? Like, were you feeling it right out of the gate, or were you just kind of holding some reservations, AK?
I still had some reservations, but the way that they tweak that scene a little bit, like right away, you feel like you're back in the Matrix. Because for a hot second, you think, okay, what are they doing with this? Why are we back here again? But there's so many subtle differences that you can tell something is extra going on. So it's not just them repeating; it's them giving us more story and expanding what the world could be. So I kind of like that.
And that was kind of it. Like right out of the gate, I was loving the layover, like all the same scene but different characters, but just a tad off. Like this went down a lot in this movie. So did you think they were giving us too much of the same old footage, or were you digging it, fandom?
Literally, as I was watching this, I said to myself, am I not watching Force Awakens? It's like the same vibes, beat for beat. And I'm just like, okay, so this is what they're trying to go for here. Was I like the only one with that? And even you were mentioning it. It's like, okay, am I watching, something new or not? And literally throughout the entire film, it's like scene for scene, reference upon reference, Easter egg after Easter egg. I'm like, am I just watching a documentary or am I watching something new?
Oh man, and there was a lot of that. It's like, is this 28
There
days?
was.
Is this World War Z? Like every scene just kind of gave you a feeling of like different. I was like, wait a minute, yeah, we're gonna talk about it. It did seem to bite off of a lot of different tropes.
A lot.
And a few times they were doing it absolutely on purpose. Like they just leaned into it. Like they weren't even trying to hide it. That was amazing.
What's if up, Meta had a name, it's the Matrix Resurrections.
Oh man, what's up, Peter Griffin? I see out there. Was Neil Patrick the Oracle? No, he was not. He was the analyst, something very different. The Oracle was good. He seemed to be an evil bastard to me.
Was the Oracle good? The Oracle was Blood Raven. Get out of here, DJ.
What?
Oh, when Trinity said this is for the kids, all I can think about was the bend the spoon scene in the OG film. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it had a lot of callbacks. It had a lot of touching on different things. Like, it was amazing. We also learned that the programs are very much alive and evolving, even more so than humans. Like, as we hear in this scene with Trinity is some kind of, like, loop module and a sequencer evolving a program. It's like, wait, but to do what? Like, and right away we know that they're going to try to make this movie confusing as hell. Like, how long did it take you to say, like, wait a minute, what? What's going on, AK?
Not that long. Not that long at all. I think by the time.
First scene.
Well, yeah, you could tell from the first scene, but I think the biggest moment is when Bugs started talking about her tattoo, or was it the tattoo? Somewhere along in that combination, we saw the tattoo. She didn't say it. The camera just panned past it, so that's okay, that's not really Trinity in there. This might be the upgraded Trinity, and maybe she has to do some things to get her memory back. But she isn't, of course. We know she was just a stand-in in that module.
Bugs and Sec realize that this story is similar, but not actually the same story. And why use old code? Why use old code to mirror something new? And we see somebody or something was trying to hide some info. And then Sec tells Bugs to get out of there. It's got to be a trap, and it seems to be one. But why does the new Morpheus tell the agents to kill her and then end up saving her a few scenes later, Phantom?
Again, I was confused. Literally in less than 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes into this damn film. Supposed to be seeing Trinity there and then someone else. Seeing freaking I haven't seen when it came to Matrix Resurrections, I didn't want to see any trailer, no nothing, no news, no nothing. But I ended up seeing like the very first ever trailer and I'm like, okay, that's it. And I thought that one guy was gonna be Morpheus. So when he came out the car saying, "Oh, Mr. Smith," I'm like, what's going on here again?
Exactly. Yeah, they're trying to twist it at every step.
I thought that worked though.
Oh, I loved it.
Because
It's
like
did,
with
but confused.
it's like with old girl, the sand snake. She had to be re-woken up, I think is what it was. Neo saved as much of the actual Morpheus as he could. And he had to go through that little journey for something else to click and unlock his mind.
I kind of wish I wasn't Morpheus though, even though it's not Morpheus. But it's like it should have been just an entire like different like new character named something else.
I have to admit, because I didn't watch much on it either, and I didn't see many of the trailers. But I thought I was going to absolutely hate that they brought in a new Morpheus. I was ready to completely.
Oh, I didn't at all. I like that actor.
No, I'm just saying.
I like the actor, but
I wanted to see the original Morpheus, but the way they tied it in was perfect.
Yeah,
they actually made me like it, made me a big fan of it. So I like that. And I dug the homage to the keymaker. Like Morpheus said, there was never any one key. Or Morpheus said there was never anyone at the key shop. So he started looking around, and of course, he wasn't there because he died saving Neo in the first Matrix. So just the little tips and nods that they were doing, I was loving that. And then while Bugs and Morpheus were getting acquainted, and she was telling her story of when she first spied Neo, did you notice when they first showed him that he was some bald guy? But when they panned back to him, it was a close up of Keanu. Did you notice that, Phantom?
I did. Literally when he was like taking like that the blue pill, and then you can see in the mirror like, hold up, why is he kind of bald there? Like a Stephen A. Smith type of individual there. What was going on? And I can kind of see like why later on they kind of explain it. I'm like, okay, so that actually makes sense though. They're pretty much trying to hide him in plain sight.
Absolutely, exactly. How did you notice that right away, AK, or did it take till like the second or third time that they were showing that?
No, I noticed it, and if I'm remembering correctly, even down to his clothes, it looked like what he looked like when they first got him out and then started traveling to Zion. The bald head, it looked like he had on like some type of white clothing or other. I may possibly be misremembering that specific part though.
Yeah, he was usually dressed in black, but it was just they'd show like a quick flash, and I mean just a quick flash. You almost thought it was like something they messed up on, and then they come back and like, no, that's Neo. But then you see like once they start doing it 3 and 4 times, they're like, all right, we're supposed to be following the fact that this is not really the real Neo. That was awesome. And when Bugs offered Morpheus the pills, she said she got laughed at when she was offered the deal. She was missing the point. Choice is an illusion. You already know what you have to do. And that goes along with like an old poker adage, like think long, think wrong. Nice. So it's like on most major decisions in life, I mean, don't we instantly know the right option? Isn't it just the rest of it, just us getting in our own way, trying to overthink it or overcomplicate it, Phantom?
Pretty much it. And that pretty much just goes along again with the very first like film, when it was pretty much on that whole questioning of, is it really your choice or predestiny? Like, was it all part of the plan? And of course it was, damn it. Like I said before, the Oracle is Blood Raven, damn it. Don't trust her. Don't trust her.
Oh shit! What do we think of the new portal in and out of the Matrix being window panes instead of like the old school phone lines? Because that would have been so outdated. Like, I just love the little things like they did that. Like, what do you think about that, AK?
Yeah, I think that was cool. I mean, if you're gonna upgrade all of the tech, then upgrade all of the tech and come up with better ways to do things.
It just makes more sense because, I mean, how weird would it have been trying to find an old school phone line? Like, who even has phone lines in their house anymore? So
I do, sir.
Especially considering the types of species that populate Zion now, or whatever they started calling it. Oh, yeah. It would make sense that the tech would get upgrades.
Right, exactly. And how sweet were those toy modules, the things that have happened in the Matrix? Like I love the hand like flipping the bird and like so many great callbacks right out of the gate. All the things he had on his desk and all the like little gadgets or whatever.
Mhm.
But they were all little callbacks. But my favorite was of course like that hand flipping them off, like what he was doing. I don't know. So many just little Easter eggs in this one. I loved it.
But they didn't have a damn Funko Pop on that desk.
How could they not have a Funko Pop? All the other things they didn't have
It's
a Funko Pop.
gracious. It's not that big a deal.
It was interesting when Neo noticed a glitch in the Matrix, like two lackeys come in, busting through the door, like, hey, what's going on? So right away, I was on alert for what is really happening. Like, are we in the Matrix or is this like really going down right now? Because that just seems too weird. Like, as soon as he notices something, all of a sudden you got two guys busting in. Like, I don't know. That was a little like, what's that Truman Show?
The Truman Show. I would say it's a little more like Doctor Who when you see the silence. You walk in, you just forget what you just saw.
It was just like every time Truman was getting close to figuring out like this wasn't the true reality and he was being filmed on something, somebody would come busting in with the problem or do something to try to get his mind off it. And it just seemed like that's what was going on here. And
Fun fact, I never seen Truman Show.
Oh, you gotta check that. That's old school. It's old school. And then we get another flash when Neo's drinking coffee and we see his reflection in the glass of some old man with long gray hair. And I'm like, is Neo getting like his Denzel on and like his Denzel and Fallen on, just jumping body to body in the Matrix? Like that was another show. I was like, wait a minute, why is he always looking different? Why is he always in a different body? Like definitely going Denzel and Fallen. So yeah, like I said, this whole show is almost like you could tell they had writers from certain movies that were putting their own tropes in.
Right.
It was insane. And was the program that went with Neo to the coffee shop messing with him on purpose? Like everything he said and did seemed to needle Neo. Like then he'd say something like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was raised by machines." Like it was almost there just to mess with him. Did you notice that, Phantom?
Almost like literally before he ended up taking that red pill. Like you can see, like if you rewatch it, they're just kind of just messing with him and toying with him. Like the system knows, and they're just like testing him a bit, and he just still just oblivious to everything.
That was wild. Did you notice that, AK? Like it just seemed like all the machines and programs were kind of like nobody was on his side. Like they were messing with him on purpose just to mess with his mind.
Yeah, it seems like it.
That was
very
crazy.
much.
And there seemed to be a lot of like fourth wall jokes in this movie. Like it was getting a little Inception there on us at times. Like they're just talking about it, and we'll talk about some specifics. But it was just crazy how I kind of liked it though how they did it. They made it work.
Oh, we're gonna make another Matrix. Warner Brothers want us to. I'm like, what the hell? I was taken by that when they said that. I'm like, wait a minute, am I watching the right film?
That's because they know who they are, and that Petty is strong. I respect it.
Like when they were talking to Neo, and he's like, "I know you said you were done with this story, but our story's ever done. Like, it's time for a sequel." I was like, they were just talking right to us. It was pretty great. And again, as soon as Neo and Trinity meet and start to talk, like decoy programs instantly kicked in. Like a little smartass son or husband suddenly in a hurry, showing Neo and Trinity like they can get close, but not too close to each other. So I was like, they were giving us all the little Easter eggs and all the little niblets to the trail to follow. But if you were really paying attention, but you had to really pay attention.
Yeah, the analyst was a dick for that. Like he knows them two are freaking lovers. Want to get back together, wake up from this freaking Matrix thing, but no, just put it right in his face. Like he didn't even want to even talk to Tiffany. It was that other freaking program is pick him up. He's like, "Oh, go talk to her and thing," and then literally the husband comes through, the kids come through. I'm like, damn, that's just wrong.
That was the program being rewritten to send in aid to stop the connection.
Absolutely, and that's why she smacked his ass so hard in the end just to get him back. That's for using kids. Like that was just really crazy. And just as Neo sees one of his modules has been hacked, he gets a call from his boss. And as he enters, we see Agent Smith has been altered as well. Like it seems to be only in reflections that we can see their true selves. And I really kind of love the way they shot this movie. Like the cinematic was just cinematography.
It was very interesting, and oddly enough, when I first saw the trailers, I did not think freaking Jesse St. James from Glee was going to be a good substitute for.
Oh no! Wait a minute! Wait a minute!
Did you forget?
Oh my god! Oh my
I was
goodness!
hella skeptical of that kid, but then I remembered I totally wrote him as a freaking super. Well, no, he's not a superhero, but a super soldier in a fan fiction that I started some years ago. So I was like, all right, maybe I'll see how he works out. And he actually rocked that role. I thought he did pretty good with it, surprisingly.
No idea what
I'm
you're talking
biased.
about. Never seen Glee.
I'm biased. I still miss Hugo. I miss Hugo. I didn't know that he was gonna be even like the new Mr. Smith. I'm just like, wait a minute, is it gonna be just a psych out that maybe he's gonna like end up changing his face? But nope. Hate it.
Oh, what's up, Archon? I see you out there. Welcome back. Welcome back. Talking
Hey,
some
y'all.
Matrix. We know this is right down your alley. Get crazy with it. And they start out subtle with Agent Smith, talking about how beautiful it is. It has to be fake. Like right then, you're like, are they talking to us, like outside the fourth wall, or I mean, just some of these lines right out of the gate. And then Neo starts to act all neurotic around his boss, and he's almost like a trigger for him. He keeps getting these flashbacks that he can't tell if they're real or not. So that's when they really start kind of messing with our minds. Like, okay, what's real, what's not, what's in real life, like. And then they go way over the fourth wall, joking about the parent company that WB wants to make a sequel to the Matrix trilogy. Says they're going to make it with or without him. You know, all this went down. Like, oh, they're going to make it with us, with or without us. Like, I thought they can't do that. Oh, they can do that.
Oh, well,
like,
they can.
I'll bet that was the truth in real life. Like, I know you said the story was over through you, like, but you know, I'll bet he really said, you know, Neo, like Keanu Reeves really said, like, I'm done with this. But nope, put all that money in his face, and here we go again.
And yeah, I mean, I can't blame him for getting the bag.
Not at all. But it's just funny how they're just leaning into the reality of it all and just putting.
Yeah, I think they just didn't want to take themselves too seriously. I think so. They played into that, and I thought it was good for some chuckles. So I didn't mind it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was like the Matrix inside the Matrix inside the Matrix. We're in the Matrix watching
the Mantrix, a parody fanfic.
Oh, amazing. Absolutely amazing. And speaking of reality, Neil's not even sure of, like, as we hear him talking to his therapist, he doesn't even know what his reality is. He thinks he's either having a mental breakdown or he's being held hostage in a computer simulated reality. So that was a bit on the nose.
He said again.
Right? And then Doogie asks if he needs like a refill on his medication, like, and we see he has taken all of the blue pills. So they got him just 100% hooked like an addict.
You know, the real suspicious part about that? He asked if he needed more prescription pills. You're the doctor. You should have already had that order put in.
Absolutely. Well, he probably already knew. He probably knew. He's like, do you need more Medicaid? Do you need more, you need your prescription refilled? Like, he probably knew he was getting low. So that's why I was asking. But yeah, it's crazy.
It's kind of protocol, though. When I see my doctor, they're like, hey, you need like a refill. I'm like, yeah, I kind of do. So it's like, yeah.
So they know when you're getting close.
But at the same time, it's like he could be like either running out or maybe he's going to stop taking it, stuff like that. Because before that moment, he was still like kind of like waking up. Or so there was like a suspicious there. So it's like,
waking up.
Yeah.
Very true.
Aren't we all in a computer reality? And worse yet, we are NPCs. Exactly. You never know what is the truth.
He's not wrong.
And then we also see another one of his reflections, and it looks like nothing like our Neo. So we were like, what the hell is going on? Like I said, they're just doing the Denzel Fallen move, just jumping body to body is what I was thinking at that point. Which I was like, is he hiding? Is he being hid? Or what? Like, well, yeah, trying to tie it all together was just a trip. And then we get some more fourth wall talking about being part of a game changer that was a total game changer, which I believe the Matrix was. Like, they were the first to do a lot of the green screens in a certain way, and that did change the way movies were filmed. And then also the way it made us think of life, kind of what Ian was just saying. Like, maybe we are in an alternate reality inside a machine. Like, who really knows?
Yeah.
So, absolutely. And the Matrix is the one that brought all that out. So they really were a game changer. So, like, again, just the side eye, just fourth wall talking that they kept doing was just trip. I was loving it because they tied it in perfect.
They did.
And then they're totally talking about like movie pitching, like the new games, saying how the main thing to focus on are new and fresh as you begin working on Matrix 4, and then slides into like, and who knows how many more. And it was just like, they are not letting go of this. Like, they're just telling us, like, oh, yeah, this is a new thing. We're going to keep it going. We're going to ride it till the wheels fall off. Like, I don't know. What were you thinking of it by now, Phantom? Like, what are they trying to pound into our head here?
They're pretty much just getting us ready. It's just like what I said earlier about, Force Awakens. The same thing with this. It's gonna be like 2 more on the way.
Exactly. Just be ready because it's coming. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then it went into that like daily loop treadmill grind, and I was getting some major Westworld James Delos vibes going on, like all the way down to the coffee. I was like, wait a minute, there's a
Very much
Westworld rider
so.
right there. What's that?
I said, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, we had a Westworld rider on here, 28 Days rider. We had to have because it was just too much on the nose, or at least huge fans of those movies. And then I was loving how like the think tank group was saying the truth and how it totally like correlated with reality. Like it's a metaphor for capitalist exploitation. This cannot be another reboot, retread, regurgitated. Like everything they were talking about is exactly what this movie was, and just putting it right in our face. Like, why not reboots? Reboots sell. It was like they were going so Inception on us right there. And then like, are they acting like talking directly to us about the conception of the movie? It's like, yeah, I don't know. They were going 3 levels deep with it. And I was all in for it. I was
It
actually
was a
loving
bit strange. Yeah, I think it's the quirkiness of all of them and how excited they showed themselves to be that
Oh,
made it
what's up?
work.
We got Jay Cruz out in the chat. I see you, buddy. What's up? What's up? Yeah, I think and another thing was it's like I wasn't trying to get too spoiled on it, but people are talking. There's a new thing out, and I heard so much of like there was a whole lot of okay in this movie, like nothing great, nothing mind-boggling. It's just kind of okay, or didn't understand it, or just not really sure what to think of it. So I didn't come into the movie expecting too much, and that always helps.
Yeah, me either.
Neil seemed to always see Trinity at the coffee shop, and through the montage, it seemed to be like a noodle shop. And were those 2 different time frames? Like we also see Neo in multiple bodies. So like, are they different lifetimes or just glitches in the Matrix, or what was going on there? AK?
I don't think they were glitches in the Matrix. I think they were meant to be in those spots when they were. What's his name? The analyst. I think he's the one that's been pulling the strings and setting up random stuff.
Do you think they were different timelines? Like at first they were in the coffee shop all the time, then all of a sudden he started seeing her at the noodle shop all the time. So is he stalking her, or is that like 2 different time frames, 2 different
I don't
lifetimes?
know. See, I don't think it would be 2 different lifetimes, or 2 different timelines. I think it weighs more with the connection that they have. Like what did the analyst say? He wanted to keep them just close enough, but for far apart so they don't ruin his plans. So I think once that first trigger was made, it just kept building and building.
That makes sense. Absolutely. In the end, they seemingly are telling us like Trinity is every bit as powerful as Neo. So why isn't she on the verge of a nervous breakdown like Neo is? Like in the story, she tells Neo she knows something is not right with her life. So why is she so much better at coping with everything than him? Like I get ignorance is bliss, but she seems to feel something's not right. So how's she coping with it so well, Phantom?
For her, I found it was like more difficult because she had like a husband and kids. It's supposed to like Neo, he was just like by himself.
Oh, that makes sense. I love that. So it was like basically they kept her distracted with the family.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Absolutely. That makes sense. What's up, Lindar? I see you out there. Welcome back. Welcome back. So yeah, I actually like that because I was wondering like how is she dealing with this so well, and Neo's just losing his shit. So
No,
that makes some sense.
you know what I think it is.
What's that?
I think it's a part of Neo's module that he's been working on.
The module that he's on was just
Because that's how Morpheus was able to come back, and I think he put something in the code to give a little bit more edge to Trinity. So not only can she cope with the stressful heart feels of missing something or someone and dealing with family and whatnot, because we saw really no indication that she was having too hard a time with anything. So if he gave her those upgrades, it kind of makes sense that it ended the way it did in that last escape.
You think it's the analyst that gave her upgrades that helped her deal with that?
No, not the analyst, Neo.
She did play the game though, and then she was beginning to like wake up and say like, "Wait a minute, is that me?" And then I think her kids and her husband like laughed, and then she kind of felt like angry at the same time. So
Oh yeah,
and
she's
and
a
that's what I'm
creature
saying.
without a body.
Those were breadcrumbs, I think, specifically laid for her. I could be wrong.
Absolutely.
I could be totally wrong, and that could just be tinfoil.
No, I like it.
No, you got it.
Yep. And then we got another homage to the OG movie when Neo got a text telling him to go to the door at the end of the hall when he was at work. I was like, oh, they're just coming straight through it. And then new Morpheus walked out of that bathroom stall just swaggy as hell, didn't he?
Yo, the swag, man, the drip was just oozing off his whole
Oozing
aura.
out.
I was like, all right, young
Unbelievable.
fashion person, I get you.
But a big point about freeing one's mind is making the choice for themselves. So why did Morpheus only offer Neo a red pill, Phantom?
Because he knew what the choice was going to. It's like, again, it's like go back to the first one film where it's like, is it really a choice? But we know which one you're going to choose anyway. So that's why he just offered the red one instantly.
But it's like,
Yeah,
isn't
they
that a
ain't
big
have that
part of
time to
freeing?
waste.
Yeah, but that's a big part of freeing the body and getting them out of there so their minds don't freak out.
It's an illusion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I thought they had to make the choice themselves. Like that's a big part of this whole movie, isn't it?
I mean,
Mm-mm.
it could be misconstrued that way, but yeah, I think I agree with fandom. It's not really a choice. It's framed like it is, but it isn't. There's only one goal that Neo's had from the beginning of the story. Well, at least for this movie from the beginning.
If Neil was having such a hard time believing Morpheus, why not just try putting his arm through the bathroom mirror when he saw Morpheus do it? Or did he actually know and just was trying not to believe it, didn't want to believe it?
I think it's possible he may not have wanted to believe.
I mean, yeah, I mean that's pretty much right there. You just saw a man
I
put
don't
his
know.
arm through. It's like if this is a delusion, then why you shouldn't be able to do it. So get up there.
And
What's that?
why would he even go to the door? If he wanted to really ignore the situation, he could have just followed the crowd and went downstairs.
That's true. Exactly. So much back and forth. And it was definitely over the top, but cinematically, I was loving the visuals of that office shootout. Like under the sprinklers, that shit looked amazing.
That was pretty cool.
It was so, like I said, I came into this movie kind of ready to hate it, and then yeah, it just kind of kept me
Yeah,
tempted in all these
it
places.
surprised me too. I really enjoyed it.
It was, yeah, the writers knew what they were doing. They leaned into the parts
Hmm.
they needed to, and yeah, and then like I said, the way they shot it visually was just impeccable, and they were really
Hey
pulling in both.
yo, sorry, Stalin's in the chat.
Oh, what's
That
up, Sloan?
awesome that thumbnail was cool, my guy.
Absolutely. He was already taking the blue pill as his choice as if he wanted the red pill. Yeah, but it just seems like, yeah, I mean, that's true. He was already taking those. So if he took a red pill, that would change it. But man, I don't know. It seems like, I don't know. I like, you have to have one of each in front of you and make that choice yourself. I thought that was the whole point, or your body, like your brain wigs out when they try to unplug it. He thought he might be crazy. That's why he was in the therapy. Yeah, oh man, he didn't know what the hell he was. He was going back and
Yeah.
forth. He did not know up from down at one point. But yeah, I really love how they were really pulling in both directions with the crossover from the office shootout to the office therapy with Doogie MD. Like, was the movie starting to lose any here? Like, Phantom, is this a big part where you started to kind of get lost when they were first? He's just in an office shootout, then he's sitting in his psychiatrist chair.
And then in the way how the scene just transitioned, like it was a whole fight, not fight team, but the whole shootout at the office, and then instantly he was like back in like the therapy room. Like, what the hell? Did this happen? Did it not happen?
And
That's
because
what kind of like the pretty much I think it was like the first hour of the film where it was just the whole back and forth as okay, is he going crazy? Is he not going crazy?
and then the way they shot it, like they shot him, and like he really did get shot, and then they flashed back to the other movie when he got shot and actually, got shot and went down. So I mean, they really were kind of pulling you, like, wait a minute, is he about to die here? Is he really getting shot? Is he in the Matrix? Is this real life? Like, I kind of
I
love the
think
way
that was
they're
the
going.
programming.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to confuse him and us at the same time.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it just, like I said, it seemed like it was going out of its way to confuse us at this point, which I kind of like. And then what would have happened if Neo would have stepped off that roof instead of Bugs pulling him back? Like, I mean, if you die in the Matrix, you die in real life, and obviously we see he was having a problem flying. So, what's up, AK? What would have happened if Bugs didn't pull him back and he actually would have stepped off that roof?
I think it's set up to where we would believe he was dead, but then I think the machines would just get him and rewire him back in.
So yeah, basically they just keep bringing him
Yeah,
back to
he would
life.
have been captured.
Yeah. Because obviously they did it once, they would have been able to do it again. And when they take him into that familiar room, they show him and explain to us why it was so hard to find him, and they kept switching his digital image. And then we're like, okay, we're not going crazy. Like, this is actually what they're doing to him. They're doing it on purpose. And that was kind of genius. They didn't want to miss a trope, though, in this film. Like, so of course we had to give a nod to zombie flicks. Like, you know, only here we call them hordes. I'd say, yeah, hordes. Like, now anybody anywhere can become an agent without even being touched. I was like, that was kind of tight. And then the swarm mode, we're going to get into that, but how dope was swarm mode? Oh my God. That was incredible.
You want to talk about running the gauntlet?
That was amazing. That was amazing.
That's the final boss in Mortal Kombat.
Right? But the horde fight on the train was pretty great in itself. Like, that action scene was just dope. And it led into like a cool new way for Neo to crawl through a mirror, like into his new reality, which for the time being seems to be actual reality. So I was liking it. The action was actually pretty decent in this show. I was all in. But Neo once again gets reawakened, and it's like, understandably, he's a little out of sorts as he takes in his surroundings. And AK, was it just me, or did that space that Neo awoke from look just like a cervix?
Look just like a cervix?
I'm telling you, when they panned out and they saw, like, dude, Trinity and Neo were the two ovaries, and go back and watch it. That shit is shaped exactly like a cervix. Like, they did that.
Hate your whole existence right now.
That was not an accident. I'm telling you.
I remember the shape. You might be onto something.
Spot on. Exactly. I pulled up a Google picture. Like, am I crazy? I'm telling you, it looks spot on. Did you notice anything like that?
God.
Oh my God, Deidre, you have too much free time when you
way too much.
I'm telling you, it was the lower part of a female womb. Me and Trinity were the ovaries. That was, I don't know. I was like, whoa. I had to rewind it and then pull up. I'm telling you, it was there. Unbelievable. And as Neo's being saved, he notices the body in the other pod and just knows it has to be Trinity. Like, did he see her raise up that hand when he was flying away, Phantom?
It looked like she was like literally waking up or something. Was I'm just like, what? That was interesting.
Obviously,
he got too far away.
She's ready to be woke up, and he knows it. So I mean, there's never a doubt he had to get back to her. So Neo gets brought back to the real world, but his body starts to crash, and his brain is addicted to the blue pills, and it's totally going through major withdrawals. But Morpheus says the Docbots don't give you much of a chance of survival, but I have a better idea. I know just what you need: a refresher course. And I always loved going back to the old school. But Neo said he's done fighting, like he's won every step of the way. Why? I mean, he's so OP. Why is he so against fighting? Like, especially when it's so easy for him, AK?
Probably because his brain has been wiped so many times. I mean, look at freaking Bucky. He still can't all the way function after supposedly having his mind fixed. It's just, there's a lot going on there to fix and unpack, I think.
Oh, the cervix theory has been born.
Cervix theory, I own.
Oh, I would not have been tortured with the rest of the movie. Oh, what did I miss out on? He's like, he was already taking the blue pill of choice. He wanted the red pill, yep. If he thought he might be crazy, then why was he in therapy? He thought he might be crazy. That's why I thought he was in therapy. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And he almost committed suicide in their eyes.
If you die in the Matrix, they kill the actor too. Oh man, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, halfway through the Giant Tamer was done. She completely checked out. She wasn't into it at all, but it had me guessing and thinking, so I didn't hate it so much. I actually didn't mind it that bad. I didn't mind it. But the Morpheus idea worked, and he knew just how to pull Neo through and use his love for Trinity to snap him out of it. And when he does, Neo basically shattered the simulation. So what the analyst said, like, it truly is dangerous for these two to get together. But is it dangerous, or is it actually better for things? What do you think, Phantom?
Well, dangerous for the analysts, good for humanity.
Good for the people, bad for the machines. This is what I mean. Like, he's so OP. Like, other than the Shrink, no one can even fade Neo when he truly puts his mind to something. I mean, and even then, if he really wanted to, I don't know. Like, yeah, we're going to talk about that, like why he wasn't able to do better against that. But when he wakes back up, Bugs is there to greet him. And while they talk, we hear what life is really like and why they fight so hard for reality. And if you can't tell the difference, then it's harder to resist. And with all these shrink sections, the programs are getting pretty good at like breaking down the human psyche. So he had to be tripping when he woke up and actually saw machines were on his side, right? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I would have been surprised too, but it's very interesting that they decided to go that route. And I think I like it because all the machines were legit, AIs. Yeah,
Oh, we
like the
don't call
squid
them machines
ones.
anymore.
I don't know. They didn't say a better name to call them, so.
Sentience.
All
Like
right,
we call them
sentient,
sentients
sentient.
now, or sentinels. No, sentients. Sentinels were the guards. We call them sentients now.
All right. Yeah,
Oh,
I think that they automatically got their own choice once he went into the weird ass baby mouth in the last one.
oh, speaking of Psyche, Neo's feeling like it was all for naught. Like Bugs was quick to let him know, like all he did mattered greatly for a great deal of people. And he also sees that not all machines are their enemy now, like we were just saying. Like some have
Yeah,
chosen to work with the humans. They realize not all machines want to rule, just like not all humans want to be free. Like
very
he's
true.
getting waking up. He's getting a wake up call. And would you rather be unconscious, living out all your wildest fantasies, or conscious in a bitter, cruel world, struggling to get by, Phantom?
Seeing how the real world is, how back in the Matrix, honestly,
You'd rather just be unconscious, just living out your best life?
because we still like of all like the regular, actual enjoyable food, they just not got strawberries. Before then, it was some type of oatmeal type thing, like I'm in prison. Like I don't know, just like
Bruh,
in the first Matrix. Let me go back and get myself a good steak and call it a day.
young man, it was after the apocalypse.
Still,
You can't be mad that there's no freaking farmlands. What did you expect the people to do?
Oh man.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah, there were programs on their side in the first ones. Absolutely, the Oracle, and yeah, there's a couple that jumped on. A little boy was kind of like
Yeah, but
didn't want
not
to
as
jump on
many as
his
there are
time.
now.
yeah.
I do like how the machines don't have a hive mind in the movies. Absolutely, some are able to think for themselves. Exactly, some want to be friends with the humans and help them out. Like that was pretty tight. What's not tight is how hypocritical is Niobe. Like she went against the council's wishes, giving Neo her ship on belief alone. Now she's gonna ground Bug for basically doing the same thing. What's up with that,
The
Phantom?
same shit.
Yeah, it kind of is, but she's pretty much just trying to what's the new city now called? Not Zion, it's Io, whatever it is.
IO.
Yeah,
I think
she's
it's
pretty much.
short for like isotopes.
I thought they just got rid of the Z in the end. I'm like, okay, there you go. But yeah, but she's pretty much trying to protect it because she's been pretty much like fighting for that and just like they want to go back to the old Zion way. So I can see like where she's coming from.
But Niobe has just turned into all kinds of hater, AK. Like, how are you gonna like imprison the one who gave you this life that you cherish so deeply?
Exactly. Exactly. So she sees that, yeah, she doesn't have to be distrustful of bugs anymore. And then she sees, holy shit, you are still alive. Okay. But then you fire the person that found him. Like, you already know what's set to happen. Y'all clearly need help at this point in time. Otherwise, Neo probably wouldn't have been found yet. So why mess up the church's money and now more people are going to die because you don't want to prepare?
That makes sense. That makes sense. Even the soldiers are like, sorry, I never met a legend before. Can you really fly? Cool. And then just shuts the door and locks them in. Like, man, this guy is the legend that gave you the life that you have. How are you not giving this man more respect? I was disgusted by this part.
Disappointing.
But then the crew comes back to, of course, free Neo, and he thanks them for helping. And Bug says, most of us are here because of you. It's like, she gets it. I was like, how about everybody's here because of him? Like, man, they just gave him no respect.
Yep.
They just stole Neo and think it was Trinity in the pod across from him, but the pod's in the secret place. And like, wouldn't you expect Trinity to be completely guarded by the agents? Like he wants to just go in there. They just got Neo out of there. They know that Neo's gone now. So it's like, how are they going to think they're going to be able to get back in there? They know all the agents are going to be getting there. He didn't care. Like love prevails overall. We got to get her no matter what. Like I don't know. It seems like he went in kind of gung ho fandom. Like shouldn't he have had a better plan?
Who, Neo?
Yeah.
Hell no! You just said it yourself. His love for freaking Trinity blinds him.
Oh, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I get it being blind, but you know what's waiting for you. Shouldn't you have some kind of plan, AK?
I think so. I think so.
I mean, that just seems like walking into a death trap. You just got out. You don't want to get thrown right back in.
Exactly. You went completely weak sauce.
Talking about Niobe, I think she realized fighting the machines is futile. Even if they won in the originals, they ended up going into hiding anyway. I mean, they did, but the only like she was standing there ready to die, and I get it. Like she has no more fight in her, maybe, but the reason they all left and she has this life is because Neo. She gave the thing to Neo so he could go do what he needs to do. So how are you going to punish Bugs for doing the same thing and making the same choices you made? That's my point. You knew it was right back then and you did it. So how are you going to punish her for doing the same damn thing?
For doing the same shit.
And then even Smith was able to predict what Neo was going to do. Like he also tried to warn him, letting him know that he is no match for this doctor. You need to stay away and just let me handle it. Like he didn't even want to hurt Neo at first. Like Neo just pushed it. He's like, well, now I see the only way to get through is for you to die. Like Neo kind of brought that ass whooping on himself, didn't he, Phantom?
Of course. It wasn't for the Force pushing that he pretty much had throughout this damn film. Freaking Smith could have just easily just low diffed it. Put him right back in the Matrix if he wanted to.
Yeah, he seemed to have a lot better handle on things once he got freed. And it took me a minute to realize who those exiles were, but once I did, it made me love the scene even more. Like the Merovingian just bitching about how much better things were before Neo through the whole fight. I was loving that.
The pettiest of the petty.
That was fantastic. Everybody's sitting there fighting, and he's just sitting there bitching about how worse things are now.
Look at your old ass over here still trying to talk shit.
That was fantastic. And then Neo states while fighting, like, I still know judo. And he's still the one. So why was he getting his ass kicked so bad? Like, Bug seemed to be a better fighter than him, Phantom.
It was weird because when Mrs. Smith like woke up, like he was pretty much top tier. Like nothing ever happened. He just like woke up, went right back into the game. When it came to Neo, he was still slipping, still like updating, and all this other crap. Same thing later in the film when it came to Tiffany / Trinity. It's like the same thing. It's like she started flying instantly. When it's like Neo, he had to like still like wait and up there. I'm just like, come on now, what's up here?
And even the Merovingian was like breaking that fourth wall, saying, "This is not over. Our sequel franchise spinoff is like just on the nose." I was like, "This is amazing."
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets his own spinoff on HBO Max.
I mean, he might. I'm telling you, exactly. Talking about our sequel franchise spinoff, I was like, "It's coming." He just told you it's coming. Like right there, talking to the audience through the movie lines. Like I thought that was amazing. And even knowing there would be agents, Neo, of course, wouldn't abort the mission to find Trinity. Like, he really would risk the entire world just to get back at her. So, in a way, doesn't he kind of need to be stopped, AK?
I don't know. I mean, affairs of the heart, man.
That's the one part of
I see why it would be a mistake. However, as a man in love, if you have a chance to see your boo thing and save her life, I can't fault him for choosing that either.
Well, absolutely. And he would have realized what they assumed was the real world. Like it was just a secondary matrix. Yep. I mean, and that was just it. Are they in? Are they out? Like sometimes they're just trying to get it. And poor Neo was duped by the doc this whole time. Like, first of all, he said he could sum it all up in one word, bullet time. Okay, that's 2 words. And then second, Neo's the one. Why can't he override or outmaneuver the programs? Like, how is the doctor able to just go into that and stop him like that? What's up, AK?
I think I may have an answer. What if it's because even at that point, the power level had switched? And somewhere along the line, for whatever reason, it's Trinity that became the one.
That is somehow, somewhere that did seem to happen, or got shared, or something happened, and so you.
And I could say,
Like, how did it
No,
happen? How did that transfer
I
happen?
don't think it was a doctor. I think it was a Neo.
Neo gave it to her.
Because like, remember, Morpheus said like you locked me in this module for how long that I had to search and break out to actually get the ball rolling to come find you again. Maybe he put something in the code to Trinity
Switch
that
over.
he knew he was going to be compromised, is what I'm saying. So he gave her the extra boost to kick in just when the right time came in.
Well, at least that's something to explain it, because yeah, they did a shit job of explaining that. We're gonna get into it a little bit more here in a minute, but yeah, they did a shit
But
job.
then
of
Mr.
explaining
Smith was able to freaking break through like later on in the film. So it was
He's
like,
always been able to do his own thing, though.
Well, he said it's because he's
Well, not
attached to
always.
Neo. Because he's attached to Neo. So when Neo got freed, basically Mr. Anderson or Agent Smith became.
But again, how was he
Yeah.
able to do it before Neo though? If they was like literally the same time.
Yeah, because Neo's real and Anderson or Smith is a program.
Smith is
So he
still a
probably
program.
he must have hijacked the other programs that already figured it out and then learned it. Like, that's the only thing that makes sense. Like, he's a program. He knew the other programs did it, so he basically hacked them and learned how they did it, so he did it. Because they never explained it, so I just had to figure that's my way of explaining it to myself. And Ion, that is the most real shit you've ever put into the chat.
Love is the end of reason. So true. So true.
And how great was the Dr. Doogie reveal? Like, he tells us he's the one who revived Neo and Trinity. He's also the one who figured out like how and why humans do what they do. Like, it's not about fact, it's about the fiction. So I was actually loving the Doogie Howser MD part. He was crushing it.
Doogie is like Elijah Wood. They're scarily good at being villains.
Oh yeah.
Like, you don't.
Elijah Wood was a villain at one point?
Crush it. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Was Elijah Wood a villain in a movie?
That Sin City?
You ain't seen Sin City?
Oh my god, it's amazing, dude.
There's also another one, another
Yeah, but he barely acted there. He was like quiet that entire time.
Oh, he was evil though. He was definitely a villain.
Yeah, but he was evil. He was eating women, dude.
I need more than that.
What are you talking about?
I need more than that.
What? You need more than eating people to be a villain.
Oh no!
You and your questionable ass choices.
Bringing it back, they keep showing the analysts being wrong. Like, if facts didn't matter, then no one would ever take the red pill. So do they want to live in the truth? Like, they keep showing him being wrong. If facts didn't matter, then no one would ever take the red pill. Like, everybody would just keep taking the blue pill. So why is he so afraid of it if that's what everybody wants? So I think they're kind of showing us that this guy is not as right about everything as he thinks he is. But bonus swarm mode, like I said, he said bonus swarm mode is sick fun. Like, that was a nice little spoiler alert he gave us, because when swarm mode finally hit, it was off the charts. I was loving swarm mode. That was crazy.
I wasn't liking it. I kind of missed the whole agent thing.
Oh man, no, swarm mode's when he made. I don't know. I liked it. Like, turning all those dudes that were just laying asleep in bed, and they wake up, start dive bombing out of windows. I was like, what? That shit was ridiculous.
Yeah, I thought that shit was cool. I mean, and it tied back to how Colleen, I'm gonna call her Colleen because of that stupid show that she was on. Damn it, what the fuck did I say? Oh, she explained to him exactly what the machine things are. They upgraded, so they only look like they're human. They're not. All those programs able to be tapped into. So you're activated in swarm mode.
I think this movie would have been better if they went to Termination style, probably Terminator is trying to say, and would have went to war with the machines in the real world.
Well, technically, they said that wasn't this supposed to be Terminator, or was it Matrix supposed to be like a prequel to one another? I remember that.
Oh, I haven't heard anything like that. But yeah, that was kind of like the whole thing of the first one. So they had to switch it up. Like, that was basically the gist of the first movie, is battling the machines, going to war with the machines. So this is kind of like the new world with them all living together.
That's an interesting mashup, though.
Or if would have realized that they assumed was a real. Oh yeah. Woo! Just a secondary matrix. That's what we're all living in, the secondary matrix. Oh, love is he said, so nice. I put it in twice. Naomi had the crew followed, and when they came out, they had not a so great choice to make. Like stay and die by Squid Games or head back and be court-martialed. Like again, nice choice, not really a choice at all. And I love when Bugs let her know, like, you care more about growing fruit than you do freeing minds. Just like Doogie said, you'll fight harder for what little you have over the fear of having even less than you will strive for something even better. Like, that is true human psyche that he broke down. He was on point with it. And Nairobi was just basically proving his point for him. So that was kind of tight.
Every time she opened his mouth.
What's that?
I said every time she opened her mouth to speak, she was proving that.
Exactly. Like, just too scared to lose what little you have instead of striving for something better. Let's get it, girl. And as such, Neo proves again that love conquers all and instantly agrees to go back into his pod if it'll save Trinity from dying again. What's up, fandom? Would you go back in that pod for the love of your life?
Let me think about it.
Can you imagine? I mean, if you're just in love with your girl, are you going back in the pod for her?
I'm not going back for Cersei, AK. I would not go back for Cersei. I'd be like, I'm good.
You fucking know you would.
I'm good. If I knew about the Matrix and whatnot, yeah, but I wouldn't. Because I could just create a better Cersei. Aha!
So you over here trying to make sex toys is what you're saying. Okay.
Oh, shit. New life-size Funkos. I gotta say, I felt the chills when Bugs volunteered before even being asked or ordered to go on that mission. And then, like, Niobe said she needed 2 more, and the entire platoon stepped forward, like, before she could even get the words out of her mouth. I was like,
because everybody is done with that shit.
Oh,
it's literally been like 3 lifetimes and shit. They don't want that no more.
Oh, man, that was amazing. First the mouse, now the WB trying to work on the tear ducts. I was like, hell yeah, let's get it. Everybody was in on the plan.
Right, like, so they legit have the tech to win this shit now. You got machines helping you fight machines. That's over.
They got the one. The big guy says, no way, not a chance. I'm not going back in that pod for anybody. Oh, would you go back in the pod for an entire Funko? Oh, for your Funko collection?
If I'm in the pod, what the fuck I'm gonna do with the Funkos?
No, then you have an even bigger collection. You have whatever you want inside the pod. So they put Sadie's plan into action, and all is running fairly smoothly. Even the part where Bugs has to like play host to a second brain while Trinity gets unplugged. Like, would you let somebody else share your brain to get them unplugged, AK?
If I had the absolute surety of survival, yes.
Nobody knew.
And I would say they knew a fair bit because baby girl spent quite some time making sure this plan was set into action and would run exactly how it was supposed to. So I think I would.
Like I said,
especially it also depends on what person I'm doing this for too, though.
That's true. And everybody knew and loved Trinity. She's a legend too, but she was volunteering before she even knew what the mission was. She was all in. Like, hey, if I got to die for this, let me ride because we're gonna get this one done.
After you've been benched, what would you do?
She got nothing left.
That's a golden opportunity.
So Neo makes a deal with the analyst to let Tiff decide if she wants to be freed, and they both know neither would keep their end of the bargain. So why even go through with it? Like, he already lost Neo. Why would Trinity be any different, fandom? Like, why would the analyst? What's that?
Well, he needs them both, really.
That's what I'm saying. So he already saw Neo make it out and not want to be there. So why would he think that Trinity would make any kind of different decision than that? Why would he even make this deal and chance it?
You got this, AK?
Maybe to see if he can get away with it.
Just to see if he... Yeah, I mean, he says he likes test, and so he wanted to kind of see where this would go. But, I mean, both of them knew that neither one of them were going to keep up their end of the deal, and this is a machine. So what? Is he like, machines know how to bluff now, or machines know how to lie now? Like, why would he even make that deal? That didn't make sense to me. I thought that's kind of crazy. But how is
different from, like, the architect, though?
What's that?
Because he is different from the architect. With the not the architect, the freaking the machine hive mind thing, whatever, at the end of Revelations. Not Revolutions. Yeah. At least he was able to make a deal with that thing and it went through. But the analyst, you can tell like he's something different.
Mm-hmm.
If I only had a brain. Getting the ring of the live line, really, I'm telling you. How was Trinity able to see that? How was Trinity able to see all this in her dream? Like, is she some sort of oracle now, or is she living in some kind of loop? Like, how did Trinity see all this before it happened? AK
Because she wasn't supposed to until the time was right.
wasn't supposed to what?
She wasn't supposed to start waking up and coming into
That's
power.
crazy.
That was did I misunderstand the question? That was what
Well,
you were
no, I'm just
asking,
saying.
right?
She saw all this, like all this that her and Neo are doing right now. She said she dreamt it. So she had seen all this happen before it even happened. So how is she predicting the future? How is she getting vision
That's
of
right.
the
That's
future
right.
before it happens?
She's
Okay.
becoming
Yeah.
just like the one now, just like in Reloaded.
Yeah.
He was like Neo was able to see dreams of like the impending death of Trinity, and here she's pretty much
Mm-hmm.
seeing like what was going on. So this is pretty much like the film just telling us, yo, Trinity, just like how Neo was, she's the next one.
Yep. And that ties in with what I was saying earlier. Neo put that shit in the module.
That's
He
true.
knew she would need to be stronger.
I like that. I like that. So Neo's just pumping her up to be the one. Okay. I like Jake. Jake says if he can clone them, let them go and just make another one. I like that. Like that makes sense. I mean, if you could redo the one, you could do it. I mean, if he has enough of their DNA or whatever body structure, but then he'd have to be afraid of those two out there constantly making mischief. So basically, I mean, unless you're
I
gonna
don't
have
think he has any more samples. However, he brought them back. I don't think he has any more of that. Otherwise, he wouldn't be pushing so hard to get Neo back.
And it's like, how many clones are you gonna get like the exact ones that you need? Because isn't
Exactly.
this like either the sixth or now seventh iteration of like
Mm-hmm.
Neo and Trinity right now?
he's constantly been
Yeah.
perfecting them. Yeah, definitely. So yeah,
It's like Resident Evil when all those Alices were being experimented on, then just tossed in a ditch after they failed.
feel it. Phantom, did
Yeah.
Neo know that Smith was going to be at that meeting? Like, was he part of Sadie's plan?
I don't think he knew at
He
all.
just kind of
Granted,
showed
he
up.
did know like he was like going up against them, but against the analysts because he didn't want to like be on that leash. But I don't think he knew,
Yeah, I was
and even
wondering
like
about that.
what side he was even going to be on. Truly,
Yeah.
How about you, AK? You agree with that?
Yeah.
How was
Indeed.
Smith able to move as fast as the analyst when Neo never could, AK?
Smith is just built different, man. That's that's the only explanation. When he got his achievement unlocked after jumping into that one dude's body, it's been randomness of things he could do ever since then. And with all the time that has gone by in like the movie, what was it, like 60 some odd years? I think he's just been able to like subconsciously put in whatever he needed to for that moment,
I'm
if that
just going
makes
to go with the.
sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to go with the fact that the other machines did it, so he found a way to hack them. How dope was Smith's parting like? You know the difference between us, Tom? Anyone could have been you, whereas I've always been anyone. I just love that shit. That was gangster. And then he bounces
That's real
out.
talk. That was real
And then
talk.
when leaving the bar, why couldn't Neo fly? Like, how does he have all his other powers, but he can't fly? What's up with that?
I
I
think
thought he was gonna fly at the right moment, but nope, Trinity saved him.
Yeah, I was
I
just like,
thought it
that's
was too.
crazy.
But think about how long they've been drugging him with that blue pill. He has some of his fighting skills back, but you can tell he's not at 100%.
So that's what it is.
And
Mind messing with him.
trying to set his mind to making that leap like he finally did in the beginning, it's not going to go that well. His brain, I think, is still fuzzy for how fast everything was moving in this movie.
And
So Trinity comes in clutch.
speaking of how fast everything was moving in this movie, welcome to swarm mode. Like, I don't know, you weren't loving that, Phantom?
Yeah,
Like, how sweet was that? That had a very 28 Days or like World War Z vibe to it. Like they were coming from every direction.
Yeah, I still didn't like it.
He said it was not for me. When
you know
those
what
bots
it
had died,
reminded me of?
what's that?
What's the name of the damn cartoon? Fairly Odd Parents.
I haven't
When
seen
like
that one.
the there's a group of fairies on some fairy world, and Jorgen, their leader, who looks like a stupid cartoon Arnold Schwarzenegger, he always says he likes to scramble the fairies whenever there's a fight to be had. So literally, like thousands of fairies just buzz in and always go and wreck whatever shop they need to. The swarm looks like that on crack.
Feel it.
And I can't say I'm mad at it. That's a hell of a weapon to pull out when you're pinned down.
Oh yeah. If they made multiple clones and had them running around being able to cause explosions when they met, wouldn't that be much more dangerous for their machine's world than machine world structure? Absolutely. Absolutely. What do the machines outside of the Matrix do all day? What's the point of their life? Yeah, that's a good point. Like, what are they? I mean, they need energy, but to do what? And what's up?
No
Welcome
one
to AC.
knows.
So when those bots started diving bombing out the windows, I was loving. I thought it was dope. But however, where I got a little confused is Neo's the one, but when they jump off that building, it was Trinity who can now fly and saves them. Like, again, when did this new power arrive? Like, I guess when he was...
Achievement unlocked.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. That was crazy. They should have showed more of that when he was transferring all his power to her, because that was just weird how, like, all of a sudden, yeah. And then next we see her, like, blow off the side of the analyst's home, kick the crap out of him, break his jaw, and then somehow just snap it back into place. Like, again, I was like, where did Trinity get all these powers? Like, how all of a sudden is Trinity the star of the show and she has all the powers? I just wish they would have shown that transfer somehow, or why all of a sudden she's so OP now and Neo's just kind of like a background thought. But that was so sad when
they may have just left it open.
Or something. I guess. I just wish they would have touched on it a little bit. But that was so sad when the analysts were saying that, like, the sheep aren't going anywhere. They don't want to be. They don't want free will. They like being controlled. I was like, it's so unfortunate that was kind of so true for a lot of people out there.
For a lot of folks, yeah.
And so Neo and Trinity say they were just stopping by to thank you and then fly off into the sunset. Like, I still don't understand where all these new powers got acquired. They just need to talk about it. I don't know. All in all, it was pretty tight. I liked it. I didn't really like the way they ended it on that. It's like, just explain it just a little bit. But what I really didn't like was that even an end scene? Like, that's two shit end scenes in a row coming off of Hawkeye and then the cat tricks. Like, was that really needed, AK?
Wait, what was it?
There was an after credit scene.
The after credit scene when they're talking about the cat tricks is what they really need.
I don't remember that.
Oh, somebody missed the extra credit scene? You didn't fast forward? I can't get.
I thought I had. Maybe not. Shit. Let me go check that out real quick.
Oh,
I actually still have it queued up right here.
Maybe she was the one the whole time. Neo said that the only way he unlocked his power in the first place was because Trinity believed in him. I like that. So maybe low key she was the one the whole time, and we had it twisted. Like maybe
the Oracle. The Oracle told Trinity that she would find the one.
No, she would fall in love with the one.
She would fall in love with the one.
That's maybe that's just the Oracle talking in circles because Trinity was going to
falling in love with herself.
Blood Raven.
Absolutely. All in all, what'd you think of this one, Phantom?
How did I think about this film? Like, it's just some parts I liked, some I didn't. Mainly freaking Hugo now returning as Mr. Smith. I missed that element. Then we don't get Lawrence Fishburne.
You can't blame the movie for that.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne.
But the way how if they should have just created like a new character. That's what they should have done. Just create a totally different character. Say like I'm kind of like Mr. Smith with better or some shape or fashion. Yeah, like if you couldn't get that character back, then just create a new character.
And they kind of cheat coded it. They're just like the new Morpheus is Morpheus and Mr. Smith all in one. I was like, that's kind of cheating and saving a lot of money at the same time. How about you, AK? What'd you think all in on this one?
What'd you think? What?
All in on this movie. What's your final thoughts on it?
It was. I think it was more than just a whole lot of okay, like folks were saying. But there are parts that definitely should have been handled better. So all in all, I'd say maybe that a 7 or a 6.5 actually.
Oh, Jake says it was bad until they jumped off the building. Then it was worse. Oh, I'm like, hey, I get it. I get it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, guys are dumb. And
the
she's
fuck
the
is the cat tricks?
Right? Agreed. Agent Smith as a new face was terrible. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I thought I was going to hate Morpheus having a new Morpheus, but the way they explained it, I actually didn't mind that. I thought I was ready to hate that character, and I actually didn't mind it so much. I mean, all in all, it wasn't a great movie. Like I said, I didn't like how they had to take, one down and make somebody else better. Just touch on it. Just tell me, explain a little better why Trinity is now the one with all the power and saving Neo from jumping off a roof who can't fly anymore, but
I'm
he has the
telling
power
you,
to do all these bubbles and
just like
stop it.
how we had to wait until like what episode 9 with freaking the Rise of Skywalker. We have to wait until the final one, and they're gonna explain how Trinity is the way how Trinity is. I'm telling you, just wait it
Well,
out.
by the end, weren't they both flying though?
Yeah,
Oh, 3 out of 10. They should have just remastered the first 3 out of movies. I mean, yeah, it's when you mess with a classic, it gets
Yeah.
tough. But like I said, the way they leaned into it and fourth walled us through the whole thing, talking about how the story's not over and
I think
we're
that
gonna
helped.
reboot and how we're gonna make it with or without you. And yeah, I think they were. I don't know. That really did kind of tie it in for me. I liked it. So that's going to do it for that. Just a few trivia questions. We got to let Phantom get out of here, but anybody who wants to stay and figure out if they remember some of this movie, let's get it in. If you know the answers to these questions, write them in the chat box. If you're watching later, write them in the comment section down below. Question number 1. In the coffee shop, what did Trinity say her name was? Starting it off with an easy one.
Tiffany.
Boom, just like that. What kind of motorcycle did Trinity ride?
Ducati.
Ooh, look at you go. What was Trinity's partner's name that helped her build bikes?
Tom?
Shit.
Nope.
No, it's something different sounding.
Jack.
Something I'm a huge fan of.
Whiskey?
Then you're getting the right direction. Oh man, if you know that
Whiskey,
answer.
Coke, Scotch,
Anybody know that one?
rum. I don't know.
What is Trinity's partner's name in the show? Write that in. And keeping it moving. What's Neo's annoying assistant's name?
Damn, with these
Annoying
name
assistant.
questions.
What was Neo's annoying assistant's name? Know that? Write it in. When Neo's phone rang, Bugs said, "That'll be your assistant. He's not your friend. He's a what?"
Is he? I think something along the lines of him being a plant, or being a synthezoid, or something like that.
Getting onto it. What did Bugs say that Neo's assistant truly was? He's not a friend. He's a what? Know that? Write it in down below.
It's not a program.
Oh, it's all for the fun of it. All for the fun of it. Yes, it is. I'm gonna say goodnight all. Oh, you bet, Linda.
Night, Linda. Sleep well.
Hope to see you on the next one, next Tuesday night. Keeping it moving. When Neo and Bugs walked through the door on the roof, they were suddenly transported onto a train. Where did Bugs say they were?
Tokyo.
Boom. Well done. What does DSI stand for? They kept changing.
Digital something or other.
Yep. They kept changing Neo's DSI to keep him hidden. What does DSI stand for?
Digital sentient.
Imagery?
No.
Images?
Oh, you guys are all over it. So close. The digital is D, the I is image, and the S is... Throw that right down below. How long has it been since Neo and Trinity flew to a machine city?
60 years.
60s.
Well done. According to Morpheus, what lays between everything and nothing? According to Morpheus, what lays between everything and nothing?
Something.
Gray? Is it the gray?
It is not. Oh, what's up, Jake? Not next week. We're probably going to be doing Cobra Kai tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, I'll probably be on doing that one tomorrow. Oh, what is Bug's ship's name? What's the name of the ship they were rolling around in this whole movie? This whole thing. What is Bug's ship's name? That's a hard one. I don't even know. With it in front of my face, I can't pronounce it. Anybody know? Remember what the ship's name was? Keeping it moving. Bug's right hand is sick. What does sick stand for?
Sequoia.
Boom, absolutely correct. What's the name of the machine that carried Neo away from his pod once he awoke?
I don't remember that one.
Anybody remember the name of the robot that grabbed Neo out of the pod and took him away to safety?
Robot number 2.
No, that would be, what was the second machine's name? Oh, if you know either one of those
Yep,
machines'
couldn't tell
names,
ya.
write it in the chat. What is it? And there was also a little third machine that was jumping around helping our man on the computer. What was the little machine's name? Anybody remembers any of those machine names that got introduced to Neo? Put it in the chat. Write it down below in the comments if you're watching later. And
No.
what's the new name from the machines? They don't like to be called machines anymore. They like to be called what?
Sentient?
Yep. I remember that. We got that in. Who did Bugs introduce as the best pilot in their fleet? Who did Bugs say was the best pilot in their fleet?
No clue about her crew.
Remember that. Write it down. What is the new Zion called?
IO.
There you go. Back on track. What was Freya the head of?
Agriculture?
I want to say research and development on some level.
I'm actually going to give that to fandom. They called it botany, but we're going to give it to you. Good job.
Botany. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
What did Niobe call the flying stingray she said was a friend?
Robot number 5.
9.
What did Niobe call the flying stingray? She said she was a friend.
Robot mode 2.5.9. I don't know.
Bugs Bunny is incorrect. And what did Sati's father invent?
Oh, the pods that
Neo
and
pods that Neo and Trinity were in.
Yeah. Absolutely. They're called the resurrection pods. Absolutely correct. And where was Trinity being held in those pods? Where were those pods at?
The
Machine
center
City.
of the Machine City.
They had a name for it.
What? Don't remember.
Yeah, it was some kind of huge warehouse depot thing.
Yeah. They were being held at
I don't remember though.
Bank. And then what pushed Sadie to forge the plan that freed Trinity? What made her come up with that plan?
The Oracle?
Incorrect.
Bugs?
Something happened in her life that made her come up with that plan. What pushed Sadie to forge the plan that freed Trinity? Keeping it moving, only a couple left. What is Trinity's fake husband's name?
Jack or John?
Chad?
Yes, handsome Chad.
Chad.
Absolutely.
Of course he'd be a Chad.
Chad. Hey, Chad. What's Trinity's fake daughter's name?
No clue.
She had a daughter? I thought she just had 2 sons.
Nope. There's 2 sons and a little girl.
Absolutely.
But fuck them kids. They robots.
And last but not least, what did her son say happened to the little girl when telling Trinity she had to come with them?
Oh, car crash or car incident.
Yeah, a car.
She got hit by a car trying to follow her. Absolutely. Hey, you guys did pretty good on that one. Not bad for a movie. Oh, man, so we do have to get fandom out here. I want to thank everybody for coming through today. That was a blast. Had a good time. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to be doing next Tuesday, but it will be something. So tune back in right around 6 p.m. or 9 p.m. if you're on the East Coast, and we'll be back at it. I want to thank my host for coming down this rabbit hole with me. It was a blast, and yeah, this was a different one. Love me some Matrix. Can't wait to get back in on the other one. So hope everybody out there is having an absolutely fantastic week, and it only gets better from here. Until next Tuesday, y'all. Easy.
Happy New Year, folks.